Reporting using smart reports. In this module, we'll look at how you can generate reports for the information in TFS and VSTS. These reports can be predefined templates that we have created and shipped with the product, or you can design your own custom reports. In this module, we will take a look at creating reports as well as using pre-existing reports. We'll not only run reports, but we'll save it as Word and PDF. We'll look at how we can design reports using multiple different configurations and options that are available. And then we'll see that once you've created your own custom report, how you can call upon it from other places. When you want to run report, let's say I'm going to select this part of the backlog. In the context menu, you have an option for Smart Report. So if I call Smart Report, this window shows up, and by default, the form report is selected and the default style sheet is selected. If I click on Generate, it generates a report for me. There are various templates that are available, such as this table template, which renders the output in a tabular format. Or this form table, where you have a table before the description and after the title that has priority state and assigned to fields in it. There's also a template for test cases. So there are some templates that are predefined. You can always select them and run them and see how they look. If you choose a different style sheet, so for example, if I use shaded, you will see the headings are shaded. Or if I choose casual, that's different from perhaps black and white capped version. So that's your style sheet. Now, when you have a report, let's say this one, you can export this report in Word or PDF format. If I generate this as a PDF document, it renders the report in PDF. In the event that I save this as Word, it would give you an option to upload a DOTX file, and then you can select your own DOTX file. So that's a Word template file in which you can have headers, footers, cover page, table of content, and so on. So let's generate this in Word. And so now what it does is it takes the content of the report and puts it into that Word template and generates a Word document. So you can see the header is in there. That's the name of the document, and then the rest of the content follows. Now what you can do is you can, in here, insert your own table of content. And so this table of content was created from the information. If you already had a table of content in your template, you could simply refresh it. So this gives you a lot more control about how you want your header, footer, and other content, like the cover page, to show up in the generated document. When you're trying to select a report, you can just type in some subtext, and it'll search all the names that you have with that word in it. So all the templates you have are then shown. You need the ability to create your own reports. So we've given you that ability to design your own reports. So for example, let me go here and design my own report. If I wanted to open an existing report template, I could click on the open button and then select the report and work on it. But I'm going to start with something brand new. So what happens here is, let's say I want to report a simple report for any work item type show me in the form style. I'll show you what the different styles mean. I want you to show me ID, title, and description, and I want these to be together in one line. And I want numbering to be given, and I want the information to show up in a hierarchy. So just don't take the top level, take the whole hierarchy. And then I go ahead and save it. So it's asking for a name. So I'll do training 1. I'm going to just call it training 1 is my template. Now if I go to the reporting tab, training 1 is already selected. All I have to do is to run the report. And that's my output. You can see ID and title are on the same one. That I've got a label there, and I got a description label there. Maybe I don't want the label. The label just doesn't look good here. So let's get rid of the labels. Save it again. Come back to the report. Rerun it. Aha! The labels are gone. There's no labels here anymore. Well, that's good. Now, what if I wanted, so for my epic, I just have the title. Then what I could do is I could go here, I could say epic. I want for the epic, I want this, but I don't want the description in there. So that's for the epic. And then if I want to create a sub-element or a subsection, I can go here and say others. You can just name it whatever you like. I want feature here. So I've got feature there, and in here I'll say I want description. Okay. I still don't want any labels there, and that's good. And I do want numbering. So most of the time you should check these things. And then finally, I'm going to say I want a section for user stories. And for user story, I want a table format. And in table format, I do want headings. This should probably, I'll make a description. I'll make this 300. And this is, say, 500. And I want these to have heading 1 style for my label to the table heading. Okay, so that looks good. So let's go do this, rerun the report. So now what we got here is this is our epic, that's our feature, and then I have a section for my user stories. Okay. So in here there are multiple permutations. Note one thing, that because I've called things very explicitly here, like user story, so at the third level, if I ended up having bugs, it would actually ignore bugs. So I could come here and I could say that I want to create another section for bugs. And for bugs, what information do I want? And then you can design your thing for bugs. Okay? So if you use any in here, then of course that rule applies to any work item type. So that's how this thing works. You could also say that for example, here, I want my ID and title to be heading 1. In here, I want my ID and title to be heading 2. This one I'm going to leave alone, or maybe I'll set it to 3. Yeah, so let's set it to 3. Description, which are rich text fields, generally you would not apply a style sheet to that unless you want the output to change the formatting of what's in the description field. So typically you want to just get whatever the user has typed into the description field in the report. So typically you would leave this empty, but that's really up to you. So let's do that and run the report. So now you can see that the format of this has changed, the format of this is different. Of course, you can see these are on 2 different lines, these are on 1 line, because in this case, I had merged it. In this case, I did not merge it. Okay. So, and if I did want to merge it here, then I can come back here, take this and that, merge it, and that's good. Let's run it here. And so now you see this in 1 line. So this report designer is extremely powerful and flexible. Now, let's go close this. Now let's say that I have got these user stories. But I want to group the user story by value area. If I want to group it by value area, what I can do is I can create a report. Actually, I could even update the other one. But no, let's create a new one here. I'll create a new report here. And in the new report, what I'll do is that I'll say, either I can leave any, or I can say this is for my user story, because in particular, this is for my user story. And I want to have this by value area. In fact, I'll even sort it by value area. Okay. If you don't choose the sorting order, then it just uses whatever order the query is listed in, or the backlog is listed in. But you can give it a different order. Okay. And then what we'll do is that we'll say, that's fine, I'll do a table format, and then we'll make this 300, and that's probably good. So let's just go with that for now, and I'll call this training 2. Okay. Having done that, I could go to my reporting tab, run it, and you can see it's telling me my value area of architectural. These are my user stories for that. And for value area business, these are my user stories for that. In my design mode, if I change the sort order and rerun it, it's reversed. Business is first, architectural is next. And again, as usual, you can save it as Word or PDF. Okay. Now, if you wanted to run these reports we just created in the query view, then in the query view, I could go to, say, this view, and I'll pick this epic through this story here, and we'll go ahead and bring up Smart Report. And now I want to run my training 1, and then I'll run that report on it. Okay. So the fact that I created this report in my backlog view, I can still access it from my query view. Now, similar capability exists across the board. So even if you create, say, a baseline or a review or a diagram or mock-up or FAQ, Smart Notes, Smart Docs, they all have Smart Report in there. So the same Smart Report approach can be used from any of these modules. So in this training module, we have looked at either using existing templates and then saving it as Word or PDF, and also creating new reports using different styles, form, table, we can group by. And once you've created your own reporting template, you can then call it from anywhere within the application. And the reporting template, is important to note, is available across projects. So these are not project-specific artifacts. These are going to be available across your entire deployment, your VSTS account, or your on-prem TFS deployment of modern requirements for TFS. Thank you, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.